Join me on Pan Asia as we explore the beauty, culture, and spirit of Bali, Indonesia. And what are these
To a
gates?
traditional Balinese home, explore the island's rich ceremonial culture, and cook a magnificent roast suckling pig.
Traditions, rituals, and ceremonies abound on the island of Bali in Indonesia. Hi, I'm Sean Richards, and this time on Pan Asia, we'll discover what makes this island so unique and magical. It's easy to see how devoted the Balinese are to their Hindu faith by the number of temples that are on the island. And this spirit of devotion is also expressed by the many artisans that are carrying on local traditions. But before we explore anything else, let's see where we are on the map.
The Malay archipelago stretches across Southeast Asia. The Republic of Indonesia is a long, thin chain of over 17,000 islands, extending from Sumatra in the northwest to Papua New Guinea in the east. Halfway along Indonesia's southern edge, the province of Bali rises out of the Indian Ocean.
Life on Bali seems to be inspired by all that is creative, beautiful, and divine. We'll see some wonderful arts and crafts. We'll watch Balinese masters perform elegant dances. We'll be invited into the home of a royal family to see them make their daily offerings. And we'll cook a decadent Balinese feast. I can't wait.
I'm joined by my friend Suyad for a tour of a traditional Balinese home. It looks almost like a temple.
So this is the home of the royal family.
Yes, that's right. This is the home of the former king of Mengwi.
I see.
There are two different gates. One big gate open during the festival.
Okay, so this is for use during festivals and ceremonies?
Yes.
And this one is
daily use.
daily use?
Daily use, yeah.
The home and its grounds features fierce gargoyles for frightening away evil spirits called Ogo Ogo. And every home has a shrine dedicated to the gods.
This family make a lot, 200 offerings every
200
day.
offerings every day.
Every day, yeah. So the offering and the flower made of coconut leaf consists of different color of flower.
Different colors.
So each color for a different manifestation of the god.
Ah, interesting.
So the red one for Brahma,
Red one for Brahma.
the purple or the dark one that for Vishnu, or green also for Vishnu,
Okay.
and then white and yellow for Shiva.
Okay, and the kitchen, is that the kitchen
The
over
kitchen always located in the southwest.
there? Always in the southwest.
Southwest, yeah.
Wonderful. Everything has so much specific meaning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I leave the gentle harmony of the garden for the jangle of Jimbaran Market. Here, I meet up with a chef who's helping me choose the perfect suckling pig for tonight's Balinese
The fish
feast.
directly off the boat.
Right.
Then it's absolutely incredible.
This is Heinz from Boombu Bali, and he's here to tell us everything we need to know about pork in Balinese cooking. So all this meat has been cut up already, pretty much. But is this what we're cooking today, or are we not cooking a whole pig?
Well, you see, we're gonna do a whole pig, which we have over there. We're gonna take it home in a minute. But what happens very often in Bali when we do this ceremonial feast, there's a lot of side dishes which go around it. So we're not only gonna have the whole pig over there, we're also gonna cook some of this one.
All right, so we have pieces of meat that we'll cut up and use in various dishes to accompany our whole roast suckling pig.
Correct,
right?
yes.
Now, I understand that whole pigs are traditionally only cooked for ceremonies.
What you will see very often then as well when we have big ceremony, or when we have a cremation, for example, when we have a new building which is being blessed, we have these temple festivals, then very often you see little suckling pigs being part of the offerings.
Okay.
In respect to the gods, you bring them a whole pig, so then this is something very special, so the gods are very happy. Then we
So
take
first, the whole roast suckling pig is presented as an offering to the gods.
Correct,
And then
yes.
it's consumed.
And it's a feast for your belly.
Well, it sounds very exciting. I can't wait to get started.
Let's go.
A Balinese still life, up next on Pan Asia. My fascinating journey through Bali takes me next to a wood carving factory. The owner, Ibu Marka, takes me through his exquisite shop. Besides traditional examples, he features contemporary, stylized wood carvings. I absolutely love them.
I heard a story that in the 1930s, a sculptor was given a piece of wood to make a statue, and he didn't want to cut the wood, so he formed one long, tall, skinny statue, and that was the birth of a new Balinese style. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
What are the most popular sculptures, the most popular styles?
The most popular style is long like this, you see.
The long, tall, skinny ones.
long,
That's the special Balinese
The
style.
special, yeah.
They're very unique to Bali, isn't it?
Yeah.
And where do you sell?
As we watch the artisans work their magic, I discover that Ibu Marka is an accomplished sculptor himself. He uses both the contemporary and the traditional styles. His themes range from Balinese daily life to the epic of the Ramayana. An art lover to the core, he has also founded a museum to preserve the work of famous Balinese artists.
We're back with Chef Heinz at the Boom Boo Bali restaurant, and we're ready to start preparing our roast suckling pig, which is a very unique experience for me. I've never cooked an entire pig before. It's certainly not an everyday occurrence. So this is a special treat. Well, let's take a look at our pig.
Our standard pigs are between 6 to 8 kilos. When you get it from the butcher, make sure the inside is washed out properly. It's very, very clean.
All right.
And to just have a good look around that you don't have any hair around. If you have some hair, you just scrub it off as well with the back of a knife.
Perfect. And make sure the nails are clipped off.
Correct, yes.
Great. All right, well, let's go through our other ingredients. Here,
What we have here first, we have the shallots.
shallot.
Garlic in Bali is very soft in its flavor.
Right, so you would use less of Western
You
garlic.
could use a little bit less back home,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Ginger, exactly the same.
Ginger.
The ones we have here is very small. It's very soft in its flavor. Candle nuts, they got the name from the olden Dutch. They used them in the olden days as candle fuel.
Really?
You ignite one of these candles, it will give you a very smoky flame which lasts 15, 20 minutes.
They're so oily that you can actually light them on fire.
Correct. Then again, very often in Western countries you might have a little bit more difficulty finding. As a substitute, I always recommend to replace them with raw peanuts without the skin off.
And here?
Turmeric, that's one of the 4 ginger roots which we're using. And again, this one here is fresh one. If it's difficult to obtain, you could easy to find in Western countries. So don't go out and buy the powdered stuff.
Right.
Just get the fresh one.
Use it fresh,
which is
absolutely.
much better.
Everything fresh is always better. This?
We, in Bali, we call that Laos or Galangal, as you would get it in the West.
So Galangal in Bali is called Laos.
Correct.
Like the country.
Correct.
Okay, and here we have some beautiful fresh chilies.
Your taste might be too sensitive to these little hot ones. They're very, very spicy.
Very.
You could very simply reduce them down, or perhaps want to replace them with the bigger ones.
Okay.
Again, these ones you should then cut in half, remove the seeds, and then use the same quantity as this one. Then you get flavor, but no heat.
Okay, I understand. And this?
Shrimp paste. Obviously, Western noses are a little bit sensitive to this flavor. It adds a lot of flavor. Remember, our little piggy is quite strong in its flavor.
Right.
So you need to offset strong flavors with strong spices.
With some other strong spices,
Correct.
and then it sort of meets in the middle.
Absolutely correct.
Perfect. Okay, and this?
Here we have a kaffir lime leaf.
Love
With
kaffir lime.
kaffir lime leaves,
Smells
what is very important,
fabulous.
you have to bruise it a little bit before you...
Release the oils.
Yeah.
Okay, and here we have some oil.
Oil. In Bali, basically for all the dishes we use coconut oil. Just simply forget about the coconut oil,
Right.
but replace it with a simple vegetable oil.
Not olive oil.
Absolutely not olive oil.
Okay.
There's no such thing as olive oil here in Asia.
All right, some gorgeous sea salt.
Sea salt.
Wherever would you find this on Bali?
everywhere. It's in a lot of Western countries. Coriander, fresh coriander, it's so easy to obtain. So instead of using the dry ones here, you might want to have a generous handful of fresh coriander, which
Why not
would
use the
add.
fresh if you
Go
have it?
for it. Absolutely, absolutely
Perfect.
perfect.
And what's this?
A puree.
All right,
But that's
so
all it is.
blend turmeric with a bit of water,
A little bit
oil,
of oil, a little pinch of salt,
Okay.
which is
And it
obviously
forms a
important for
paste.
flavor.
to brush and
Correct.
baste the pig
Correct.
with.
Turmeric has a very particular flavor, and it gives some color. It keeps the skin moist, and by keeping it moist, it makes it nice and crispy. And that's the whole idea, that when you eat the
Crispy
skin, it's like
skin.
cracklings. Yeah.
Lovely. Love it. All right, well, what will we do with all of these ingredients?
Next step basically is very, very simple. We mix them all up in a bowl,
Mix them all
put them
together.
into a food processor or
Food
blender,
processor, okay.
and grind them to a fine paste.
A nice fine grind.
Grind, yeah, a stuffing, which we then...
Oh, it's the stuffing.
It's a stuffing which
Great.
we then put into the opening in the piglet. We close them, we roast them, and then we eat that as a sauce.
Sounds fabulous.
Delicious.
Well, let's start making.
Let's go for it.
So our stuffing is ready.
Okay, and the
Let's
rest
get
now.
started.
The rest now is pretty simple. You're gonna help me.
Of course.
So all we have to do now is we turn our little piglet, the piglet around.
You've been all cleaned
It's
inside.
been all cleaned. Dry them off nicely.
All right.
Now what you should do now is you just scoop the stuffing inside the back.
You make small incisions with the knife to
Correct,
make it a little
yes.
bit easier to push the skewer
the
through.
rest is-
To help it along a little bit. A chef and a surgeon.
Yeah, though. It's important that we close, make sure our little pig is nice and comfortable.
Here. So kind of you. So concerned.
Well, look, we're gonna enjoy eating that, so we give him as much respect as it deserves, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, now
Okay.
the last thing you can do now is you can take the turmeric oil and brush the piglet with a little bit of the oil and paint them, yes.
Okay. Well, how long will it take to cook in the oven?
So what we're going to do first now is we put them inside the oven at relatively high heat, about 220 degrees Celsius. High heat will close the pores, will make sure that all the moisture stays inside.
And ensure a crisp skin?
Correct, yes. Then after 15-20 minutes, we reduce the heat down to about 150, 160, and then it will take 2.5 to 3 hours until the
That
pig
long?
is done. What is then very, very important that we continuously
Continuously brush.
the pig with the moistness.
All
yeah.
right. Well, if it's going to take about 3 hours in the oven, I think I have time to go and catch a rehearsal of the Master Dancers of Bali.
Yeah, can I come?
I think you have to finish your boy's job.
Please. It's always me left behind who has to clean up the kitchen,
sorry.
right?
I will come and help you soon.
Yeah.
I'll see you.
It's fun.
Bye.
Take care.
This is a consecration ceremony because they have just built a new family temple. And before they can even lay the floor tiles, they have to bless the ground first. Everything you see here is part of each traditional ceremony. The flags, the umbrellas are basically to beautify the environment and to glorify the gods. And all this food is to keep the gods happy and well fed.
It seems fitting that this blessing ceremony is taking place at a ceremonial umbrella factory. Balinese society is above all ritualistic, and these ceremonial umbrellas are used in a variety of rites. At one time, umbrella color represented one's rank and caste in society. Hinduism, Buddhism, and animism merge into a religion that is uniquely Bali. I get a glimpse of a stunning example of Balinese spirituality as the consecration of a new building continues with an offering to the gods. Up next on Pan Asia, the Bali masters blend myth, religion, and history.
I'm on my way to meet Panji for a rehearsal of the Master Dancers of Bali. And dance is a very important part of Balinese culture. It represents creativity, and it also represents power, inner beauty, and wisdom.
Dance is one of the most important aspects of Balinese life. It serves as entertainment and ritual. It marries myth, history, and religion. Panji explains that many dances tell stories from the epic poem Ramayana, or act out the eternal struggle between good and evil. I just think it's beautiful.
We're back with Heinz at the Boombu Bali restaurant, and our pig is still roasting. I hope you've been basting.
I've been a good boy. I've been basting it, cleaned up the kitchen, and done a few other things as well.
Excellent work.
Good.
All right, so now we're going to prepare a vegetable dish. And what's the name of it in Balinese?
We call it chukut urap.
Jukut ura. Well, let's go through the ingredients.
What we have here now is our vegetables, which are very common in Bali. We've got, for one, we've got the cabbage.
All right.
Just make sure you use nice soft cabbage, not too hard,
The
not
tender
too
leaves.
Correct, the tender leaves.
Okay.
That'd be just fine. Next we have some spinach leaves, any type of spinach. Again,
Any
there's
kind of
so
spinach.
many different types, purple, whatever you want to use on spinach, anything would really do the
Great.
job. If you don't want to use beans, you could use snow peas, parsnips.
Great.
I mean, anything would really do the job.
Okay.
And we've got the bean sprouts here. Again, any type of bean sprout is available.
Okay, what's this?
We've got fried shallots. Fried shallots, easy available in Asian stores.
Perfect.
Okay.
Red chilies.
Now,
Okay, are those the really hot ones?
no, they're not really the hot ones. Then what we have here, the next one here, we have the shredded coconut.
Okay.
Now, shredded coconut, as far as I know, in a lot of Western countries, you can get fresh shredded coconuts today in Asian supermarkets,
Right.
in chillers as well, so you not necessarily have to use the dry designated ones.
Right. Now, are these all the ingredients for the dressing
That's
or the
correct.
seasoning?
That's for the pretty much for the dressing.
Okay.
And what we have here again, if we start on the top, we've got the garlic again,
Okay.
finely shredded. We have a little bit more sliced chilies.
More sliced chilies.
Then the next one, what we have here, we have a mixture of chilies. And what we did with these chilies here, you heat up oil in a saute pan, very, very hot, then add some sliced chilies and you just saute them.
Okay.
We season it with a little bit of shrimp paste and a touch of lime.
All right.
So that's what we call sretabiye.
Okay.
Then going further here, we have the kaffir lime leaf.
Okay.
Kaffir lime leaves, I always recommend to chop it very fine instead of having it shredded. We call this kenchur,
Kenchur.
or lesser galangal.
All right, so it's in the same family as ginger and galangal and turmeric.
Correct.
It's a root.
Substituted with half ginger and half galangal.
Okay, good to know.
The same quantity. We've got a little bit of sea salt again. It's obviously very rich in minerals, right?
Absolutely. And here?
We have black pepper again. Again with black.
Hand ground.
Very, very important. That's where you get the flavor out. That's where all the goodness is. Don't go out and buy powdered pepper. Always grind and crush it fresh.
This way you have the real aroma, the real
It's a
flavor.
little bit more work, but the result and the end you
Absolutely
can
worth
really
it.
taste. It's absolutely worth it. Exactly.
Okay, and here's some
Sugar
sugar and, this
and
is
a
oil.
little bit of oil. A simple vegetable oil again.
Just a plain flavored oil.
Plain flavored oil. Nothing complicated. Nothing fancy.
Great. So what's the first step in assembling this
So
vegetable
what we
dish?
need to do now, first thing we need to blend all the spices, which is pretty
All the
simple.
seasoning.
I'll take here the garlic.
Oh, so you
Put
just do
them
it
up.
right in the
Just
dish.
in the dish. Take a deep bowl.
Excellent. Love saving
Doesn't-
steps.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We have here this beautiful red chilies. Then the next thing is I have remember the sliced red chilies which we fried
the
in
fried
that?
chilies.
And we have the
How
lime
much,
leaves.
How much
which
lime leaf?
Just a generous portion, a good pinch.
Okay.
We have, after the lime leaves, we add in the kenchur, lesser galangal, very finely chopped, a little pinch of salt, not too much of course. Add a little hint of sweetness,
How much sugar?
not too much. If you would go to other parts of Indonesia, they would like it a lot sweeter than what we have here in Bali.
So
Here,
Bali cuisine
it's
is a
very
little bit less sweet.
less sweet, a lot less sweet. And we use a lot less shrimp paste than what they do in other parts of Indonesia. You please add the oil now. The oil is going to add a nice shine and add moistness to the dish as well.
And it moistens the dish also.
The last thing we need to do, we need to add the blanched vegetables.
Okay.
Let me add the bean sprouts,
All right. Spinach.
the long beans, And while you add the rest of the ingredients, as I put on my gloves.
All right.
And what I want to do now is I want to mix the whole thing very,
Mix it up
very
with your
thoroughly.
hands.
Correct. Very, very thoroughly through.
Excellent. Using your hands ensures that it's very well blended.
Again, make sure you use plastic gloves. Chilies can give you very, very nasty skin irritations.
Oh, okay.
A little bit more fried shallots on top, and I think we're ready for a taste.
Oh, great. I'd love to taste it.
I'll try a little bit of spinach here.
I'll try a bean. Mmm, gorgeous. It's going to be a perfect complement to our roast pig.
Which I think is almost ready.
Must be almost ready.
Why don't we have a sit and let's see what
I
happens?
cannot wait to enjoy this feast. But maybe just one more little bite.
I think so too.
Up next on Pan Asia, a ceremonial end to an incredible day.
Taste this pork.
It's just
Remember we talked about it?
succulent. Did all of you grow up eating suckling pig?
Yes, it's a big event,
Mm-hmm.
and we have
In Bali, there are lots of rituals, so we often then come to eat this food, like the suckling pig, something to do with the ceremonies.
Heinz, it's wonderful that you're continuing to cook these traditional Balinese recipes.
We've left the food pretty much the way you get it in the village, right? But what we've done, we gave them a frame and presented it to the world a little bit in a different way.
Wonderful.
If you do it like this, my God,
Well, I
it's
think
incredible.
it's amazing what you're doing, Heinz. I definitely think that'll help to put Balinese cuisine on the culinary map. Here are the recipes.
For the salad we made to complement our roast pig, start with the dressing. Blanch the tender leaves of cabbage, long beans or snow peas, spinach, and bean sprouts. Add this to the dried shallots, red chilies, not too hot, and shredded coconut. The salad is made up of a lot of very finely sliced, hand-ground, and carefully chopped ingredients, so take your time with it. Right into the bowl, toss the garlic, fresh chilies, dried chilies, kaffir lime leaves, galangal, sea salt, and sugar. Add some oil. Now mix in the salad ingredients by hand. Make sure you're wearing gloves to avoid those flaming chilies.
Well, I'd like to propose a toast to keeping traditions alive on the island of Bali.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.